At that time Herod the ruler heard reports about Jesus, and he said to his servants, "This is John the Baptist. He has been raised from the dead, and for this reason these powers are at work in him." For Herod had arrested John, bound him, and put him in prison on account of Herodias, his brother Philip's wife, because John had been telling him, "It is not lawful for you to have her." Though Herod wanted to put him to death, he feared the crowd, because they regarded him as a prophet. But when Herod's birthday came, the daughter of Herodias danced before the company, and she pleased Herod so much that he promised on oath to grant her whatever she might ask. Prompted by her mother, she said, "Give me the head of John the Baptist here on a platter." The king was grieved, yet out of regard for his oaths and for the guests, he commanded it to be given. He sent and had John beheaded in the prison. The head was brought on a platter and given to the girl, who brought it to her mother. His disciples came and took the body and buried it. Then they went and told Jesus.
You know that feeling when you're at a party and someone asks you to do something you really don't want to do, but you feel trapped because everyone's watching? Last week, I watched my nephew get peer pressured into eating a ghost pepper at a family barbecue. He didn't want to. His face said no way, but he'd already bragged about how tough he was. Sometimes our pride becomes our prison. That's exactly what happened to Herod in today's gospel. Here's a guy who had everything: power, wealth, influence, yet he's haunted by his conscience. When he hears about Jesus performing miracles, his first thought isn't wonder or curiosity. It's fear. This must be John the Baptist come back from the dead. Talk about guilt eating you alive. Let's break this down simply. Herod had stolen his brother's wife, Herodias. John the Baptist, being the straight shooter he was, called him out on it. "Dude, this isn't right, and you know it." But instead of facing the truth, Herod chose the easy path: silence the messenger. Sound familiar? How often do we get angry at people who tell us uncomfortable truths about ourselves? Here's where it gets really human and messy. Herod throws himself a birthday party, because nothing says I'm secure like throwing your own party, right? His stepdaughter dances, everyone's impressed, and in a moment of showing off, Herod makes a ridiculous promise: ask for anything, and I'll give it to you. Now, any reasonable kid might ask for a pony or the latest iPhone, but this girl, coached by her vengeful mother, asks for John's head on a platter. Herod's heart sinks. The gospel says he was grieved. He knew this was wrong, but here's the kicker. He was more afraid of looking bad in front of his party guests than doing what was right. I've been there, haven't I? We all have. Maybe not with life and death decisions, but those moments when we know what's right, yet we choose what's easy or what makes us look good. When we stay silent instead of speaking up for someone being bullied. When we go along with gossip because everyone else is doing it. When we compromise our values because it's socially convenient. The tragedy isn't just that John died. It's that Herod became a prisoner of his own image. He was so concerned with what others thought that he lost his soul in the process. John died free, speaking truth. Herod lived trapped, haunted by his choices. But here's the hope in this dark story. John's disciples didn't just mourn, they acted. They buried their teacher with dignity and immediately went to tell Jesus. Even in tragedy, they knew where to turn. They knew who could handle their grief and confusion. When we mess up, when we're haunted by our choices, when we feel trapped by our own pride, we have the same option. We can run to Jesus with our broken hearts and guilty consciences. He's not waiting to condemn us. He's waiting to free us from the prisons we've built for ourselves. The question isn't whether we'll face moments like Herod's. We will. The question is, will we choose courage over comfort, truth over image, freedom over the fear of what others think?